Dobry wieczór wszystkim, I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. I'm Mysticle and I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. It's been roughly about 2 weeks since we've had a VR news video, but that's really good news because a lot has happened. V66 is now out, the Quest 3S has apparently had leaks happen, and the PSVR 2 will very soon be PC compatible with an additional adapter. That and so much more in today's video. So let's get right into it. First of all, the Quest 3S has been leaked, whether it's through videos leaked by Meta themselves or through Quest Store apps that have accidentally listed the Quest 3S as compatible with their app. The first leak came from just that. Meta's lower cost version of the Quest 3 should be named the Quest 3S. A new leak seems to confirm this. As of this writing, multiple official Quest Store pages list support for MetaQuest 3S, MetaQuest 3, MetaQuest Pro, and MetaQuest 2. Below is a screenshot of an example from Alo Move's XR app. And this was all over Twitter a few days ago. I'm sure if you're active on there, you've seen it. There has been tons of evidence that Meta will be announcing a cheaper version, maybe the Quest 3S, of the Quest 3 soon during Connect. And this just seems to hit the nail on the head. I mean, this seems to be the final piece of evidence that we need to tell us that something like this should be happening very, very soon. I mean, if apps are already starting to list it on their store pages, hopefully that means we're getting close. Talking about Meta Connect, that has also been officially announced now with dates. So Meta Connect 2024 will take place on September 25th and 26th. At Connect, Meta's teams show off future-facing ideas, wrapping together with nearer-term software and hardware updates for AR and VR headsets. And as usual, we're going to be streaming it live on this channel, so in case you're hyped for that, make sure to stay subscribed, as you will not want to miss it. Talking about things you won't want to miss, v66, and we're gonna fly through this one. There's actually quite a bit in this one, and if we were to list everything, this video would go on for too long. The most important part of the v66 update is the fact that apparently it significantly reduces warping inside passthrough. So with each passing update on the Quest 3, passthrough has been getting a lot better. I mean, I will not forget when we first received that contrast update that improved the graphics so much I can now read my phone screen inside augmented reality. The v66 update also brings an experimental option to use wrist-mounted menu buttons instead of the pinch gestures when using hand tracking, background audio and media controls, the ability to hide apps in your library, and a new sleep mode. You now get media controls that are taken out of the notifications panel, which is fantastic for those of us that like to listen to background audio. Those wrist buttons that we talked about inside the PTC are now here and working as intended, so your gesture controls disappear while using those because that didn't used to happen during the PTC, and you now get to hide apps in your library, which is something that a lot of people have been asking for. Oh yeah, and they've now added a sleep mode option inside the power menu, so in case you want to use that, apparently Meta says it will speed up turning on the headset quite a bit, even though, to be honest, I'm turning off as many of these features as I would like, because recently, every single time I've wanted to pick up my headset and play on it, the battery has been dead. And I know for a fact that's because the thing is constantly turning itself back on to install software updates, which sounds like a good idea, but it actually isn't. As always, do keep in mind, these are staggered rollouts, which means not everyone will receive it at the same time. So in case you haven't received yours yet, you just have to keep waiting patiently until Meta rolls it out to you. Another new feature that's part of the Quest ecosystem is the fact that you can now check out your images and videos recorded on the headset inside a web browser. The new meta.com/gallery/Quest URL shows your recent screenshots and recordings synced from your Quest headset to your Meta account. For it to work, you'll need to have cloud syncing enabled inside the camera app on your Quest. These synced recordings are already available inside the Quest smartphone app, but with this new URL, it should make it a lot easier in case you want to sync them to your computer. As a matter of fact, it should make it much easier for people like myself that have actually had issues transferring files from my Quest to my PC using a USB cable in the past. Recently, I actually enabled developer options on my headset and just changed the default to be file transfer. If you guys know anything about Android, you'll know what I mean there. But that has actually fixed that issue for me. In case you don't feel like fixing that issue though, well, you should now be able to do that inside that URL. And another little thing, the Netflix app. The Netflix app inside virtual reality has probably not been updated since like forever. Netflix doesn't seem to care much about the virtual reality application that they've got, but what they do care about is clearly giving us support, as Quest web browser now gets Netflix support, which is fantastic because, to be honest, you don't really need the Netflix app. It didn't give you any capabilities that the web browser wouldn't already give you. I mean, you can resize the web browser, you can watch it in augmented reality, or you can throw yourself into an environment. So, I mean, watching in the web browser seems like a wonderful idea. Previously, the Quest web browser showed incompatibility with Netflix when trying to play a movie or TV show from the service. Since 2019, Netflix offered a poorly reviewed native VR app on the Quest. This app lacks downloads and is capped at 480p. Just, you know, the most wonderful resolution to be watching videos at in virtual reality. I mean, crunchy. With the built-in web browser support though, Netflix on Quest should be viewable in pass-through and while multitasking. And if the web browser is included with the upcoming Horizon OS headsets too, Netflix should work on those as well. So in case you guys watch Netflix inside virtual reality, you should now have a much nicer option to do so. I know that there were third-party alternatives, but you know, first party is always really nice. Now, onto the PlayStation VR 2. First of all, it is actually on discount for another week. It's already been on discount for a week, but we're recording this video now, so it's on discount for another week. In case you want to get it, it's $100 off. The headset is available for $450, down from its regular price of $550, and you get a bundle with Horizon Call of the Mountain that is available for $500, down from its regular price of $600. The PlayStation 5 console itself is also on sale with a $50 discount. That means you'll get a PS5 digital edition and a PSVR 2 for $850 instead of the usual price of $1,000. However, you will not need that PS5 in order to drive that PSVR 2 headset anymore, as the PSVR 2 is now going to get PCVR support with an additional dongle. So this is something that people were debating about. With PSVR 2 now releasing PCVR support, how exactly is it going to work? Will you need a PlayStation 5 in order to stream to the PSVR 2? This is something a lot of people were worried about because that wouldn't really make sense if anyone actually wanted to buy the PSVR 2 just for PCVR, because they'd need to buy the console as well. And therefore, it would get quite expensive. But surprise, surprise, the PSVR 2 is actually now the cheapest OLED PCVR headset. That's a pretty crazy thing to say, but that dongle that they're releasing is actually only going to be $60. The adapter to use the PSVR 2 as a PCVR headset ships on August 7th. The PlayStation VR 2 PCVR adapter will be available from PlayStation Direct and select retailers, priced at $60, €60, or £50. The adapter takes the headset's single USB-C cable on one side. On the other side is a fixed USB-A cable for your PC and a display port for your graphics card, and the third port is likely for power from a socket. Sony says you'll need your own DisplayPort cable. Bring your own DisplayPort, I mean, you know, can't have everything, as one isn't included with the adapter, but you'll also need Bluetooth to connect the PSVR 2 Sense controllers. So in case your PC doesn't have Bluetooth, I mean, you can buy one of those little cheapo dongles, and I'm sure that's going to work. The adapter supports NVIDIA GTX 1650 and AMD RX 5500 XT or later graphics cards, though Sony recommends at least an RTX 3060 or an RX 6600 XT for decent performance. As always with PC gaming, the performance requirement will vary widely between different titles. So as usual there, but it is really nice to see Sony actually releasing an adapter here and not forcing us to buy the console as well with the headset. I can see a lot of people going for this now. However, there's a caveat, as basically none of the features we know and love about the PSVR 2 are currently available through this adapter, which actually sucks a lot. But hopefully with a future firmware update, they will make those available too, as I just don't see why they wouldn't. Or someone will figure something out. I mean, the VR chat users, I'm looking at you, you're definitely gonna figure something out. You always do. Beat Saber is actually celebrating its 6 years with 5 new songs in OST 7. So in case you guys play Beat Saber, you can now look forward to Fool, Damage, Camellia, Lustra, Terminate, X Boom Kitty, The Master, Lindsay Sterling, Untamed, and Nitro Fun World Wide Web. So there's one for you guys that love Beat Saber. And finally, we've got Pico 4S news. A lot of people were actually trying to figure out whether Pico was out of the VR game after their last headset, but no, apparently there will be a Pico 4S. Pico 4S will seemingly use the same chipset as the Quest 3, but with more RAM. Doesn't sound like a very S version to me. A public CPU benchmark result suggests the Pico 4S will have the same chipset as the Meta Quest 3, but paired with more RAM. The Geekbench result, always Geekbench, brought to our attention by VR enthusiast Luna, shows a headset codenamed the Pico A9210 with 2.05 GHz cores and 4 2.36 GHz cores. This is exactly what shows up for the Quest 3 on Geekbench too. These scores are also very similar between the headsets, the Quest 3 having 20% higher single-core performance and 5% higher multi-core performance. This won't necessarily be the case for the device itself, however, as running sideloaded 2D Android apps on the headset itself is not a reliable technique. When using a 2D app in the home space, the operating system will rarely set the CPU clock speed to anywhere near its maximum, and the home space and interface itself use up some performance. Of course, on the Quest 3, you can actually manually set the performance using SideQuest. I'm not sure whether you can do the same thing on Pico. While the Quest 3 has 8 GB of unified RAM, the Pico A9210 is listed as having 12. This would make it superior to the Quest 3 for on-device multitasking, and potentially allow developers to use higher resolution textures and more details. We've seen Pico do this before, where they one-upped Meta on their last device, and they might just be going at it once again. So, in case you guys are waiting on Pico to release a new device, well, this might just be it. Either way though, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night. If you like this one, please give it a like. If you disliked it, I guess this one works too, but let me know why down below. I'm happy to report more videos will be coming very, very soon, and the upload schedule is going to be back to normal. Thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are what makes this happen, so your support seriously means a lot to me. And thank you to anyone else supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form. If you guys are not a part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit down below. I want to see you posting your spice memes. And if you want to be notified of future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack the subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you in the next video. Peace.
Głośne.
To wiesz, że tu kamerę można? Chodź. Kamerą można kupić.
What the f...